Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Ray, coming at you with a little bit of a recap here from last week's NFL games. NFL's been quite wild this year. We have nobody expecting the Texans to be where they're at, let alone the Jaguars and the Colts at 4-1, heading into the quarter mark of the season here. The Patriots at 3-2, second in their division, beating Buffalo in Buffalo. And Kansas City third in their division, with the Chargers being at first on a 2-game losing streak. It has been a wild season so far, and I am quite interested to see how the rest of this all plays out. I'm sure Alex has more he's going to talk about later this week, and I'm sure Fred's going to touch on a couple things, along with the baseball recap of everything that's going on. Hockey is starting up, but right now we are going to go over our picks and our eliminator. Speaking of the eliminator, Eric and I both lost last week with the Cardinals losing and the Giants losing, so nobody won the first round of the eliminator. We are starting fresh this week. So everybody picks an eliminator game. We are going to go from there. On that note, I have not picked an eliminator yet. I will post that in the comments as the week goes on. But to go over last week's standings here that I have here for us, right now Fred is still in the lead at 12-7. Alex and Eric are tied at 11-8. I am 10-9, slowly catching back up. And Clay, who has joined in with us, went 1-3 last week, so he's down at the end there. This week's games that we have coming up. Thursday night, we have the Eagles at the New York Giants. In London, we will have the Denver Broncos playing the New York Jets. And then Sunday Night Football, it'll be Detroit at Kansas City. And then for Monday night, we will have Buffalo at Atlanta and Chicago at Washington in a rematch of I had a wild game last year with a Hail Mary finish. I'm looking at this for the week here. I think Philadelphia beats the Giants easy. I know Philadelphia's been struggling lately. They can't play a full game of football is what everybody's saying, but Giants have been struggling either. They had their one good game against the Chargers. I expected them to beat the Saints, and they went right back to where they were. I'm picking the Eagles in this one. The Eagles shouldn't have too much of a problem winning this game. Then you got the Broncos and the Jets. I expected a lot more out of the Jets this season, especially with the way they looked at Week 1 against Pittsburgh and how they hung in there. Almost beat them, but 0-5. They just haven't gotten any momentum going with anything they're doing here this year. And Denver is coming off of a big win against Philadelphia, giving Philly their first loss. I'm going Denver in this one in London. I just don't think the Jets are going to finally get their first win yet. They're the only team in the NFL at this point without a win, which is weird enough to say. Again, how wild this NFL season has been. The next one here, we got Detroit at Kansas City. Kansas City's coming off of a loss to Jacksonville. They are 2-3. I've heard a lot of rumors saying they're going to be hungry. It's in Kansas City. And they're actually favored to win this one. The last I had checked upon recording Tuesday night. Whether they stay the favorite, I don't know. I don't see them as the favorite. I see Detroit going in and taking care of business on this one and going 5-1. And Kansas City dropping to 2-4. This might be the year Kansas City, just like Baltimore. I had Baltimore picked to be sky high this year, and they're 1-4. Who knows when Lamar Jackson's going to be coming back? They're missing half of their defense. This is an astonishing year for Baltimore. They were my Super Bowl favorite, and they've all but disappeared. Can they bounce back? We'll have to wait and see. The next game, Buffalo at Atlanta. Atlanta's coming out of the bye, whereas Buffalo's coming off of a loss in New England. That was a rough game for Buffalo. Everybody's due for a rough game. I'm going to chalk it up to that. Atlanta's been very inconsistent this season. We don't know if we're going to get the good Atlanta or the bad Atlanta. I'm giving it to Buffalo on this one. I think Buffalo's going to bounce back after that loss they just had to New England. They're going to go into Atlanta, take care of business, and get the W on Monday Night Football. The other Monday night game is the rematch of the Hail Mary game last year between the Chicago Bears and the Washington Commanders. This is my game of the week that I am the most interested in watching, because I want to see if Chicago can get their revenge on Washington, or if Washington is just going to go in there, handle business, and beat them again. But, as much as it pains me to say this, I'm taking Chicago. I think Chicago is going to get their revenge. The Bears are looking good this year, I think this is going to be another year where the NFC North turns into one of those divisions where everybody keeps winning, everybody does great. It's just a matter of capitalizing in the postseason when it matters. And then there's my picks. Like I said, I didn't look through everything yet. I'm going to pick my eliminator, post them in the comments for you guys later. But there's our games for the week. There's my picks. What do you guys got?
Hey everyone, this is Fred from Frozen Takes, and I am here with my week's football picks. We have the Eagles-Giants matchup, and I hate to say it, but I have to go with my Eagles. Just kidding. No, I'm going with the Giants. I would... That was for you, Alex. I'm going with the Giants. They are still struggling. They're scraping, but they are scrappers. And I think that Cam Scatadoo is going to break out and get his game where he starts seeing double and maybe even triple-digit yards. Next game, I'm going to go with the Broncos over the Jets. On a worldwide stage, you know, the Broncos are a well-known name. It's the Jets who. So I'm going to go with the Broncos there. Then Detroit against the Chiefs. You know what? The Lions done me proud in my record so far. So I'm going with the Detroit Lions. Next, we're going to go with Buffalo over the Falcons. While I have an amazing respect for falconry and all those who participate, I think that Buffalo is going to stomp the competition. Then we have Chicago versus Washington. I think that the Bears are going to take advantage of this one and get the win. So, Alex, Ray, you guys are struggling a little bit. Let's get this record up. But I'm happily taking the lead, and I will humbly enjoy my wins. So, good luck, everybody. And let us know what your picks are in the comments.
Hey guys, this is Alex, the Frozen Takes crew, coming at you with my picks for this week. Now, tonight, the Eagles and Giants are going up against each other on Thursday Night Football. You know me, I'm taking my Birds over the Giants. I'm also going to take the Broncos, Lions, Bills, and Commanders. That's right, I'm going to take the Commanders. I think the Commanders are going to pull out the win in this one. Now, tonight's game against the Giants with the Eagles, man, oh man, this is going to be an interesting game. The Eagles, they had about a, 2-hour meeting between A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, and Saquon Barkley. We'll see if that meeting leads to positive results. Another game I'm going to be watching out of these picks here, it's going to be the Lions and the Chiefs. Now, the Chiefs, they're sitting at 2-3. They're hoping to get back on a winning trajectory after a heartbreaker of a loss to the Jaguars. But man, the Lions are just too good right now. I honestly think they're the better team in the NFC. The Lions are going to drop the Chiefs at 2-4. We'll see how it goes. My eliminator pick is the Commanders to win their matchup. After this week of games, we'll see who's right. Let me know your picks down below.